Happy Monday. Today is the cardiologist appointment that I've been waiting for a couple months now, it feels like. I have that later this afternoon. I am hoping for either like an ultrasound or one of those like monitor things that you wear for a couple of days. But I really don't want them to want me to do a stress test. I know it's pretty common for them to want you to do a stress test, but I really don't want to do a stress test. But I will do whatever it is that the doctor feels like I need to do. So we'll see. Like I've mentioned in the previous video, more and more this feels Lyme. So the next step I'm gonna do after my appointment, either like after today or tomorrow, I'm gonna write up an email and send it to my PCP and ask her if she will test my CD57 level and just hope she's open to it. And I'm like contemplating sending her a couple of links because I don't know how familiar she is with it, but I also don't want to like step on anyone's toes. Like I just want to be very cautious because any Lyme stuff, like my doctor, my PCP that I have now that's covered by insurance, I didn't have 10 years ago. So the only stuff she knows about me and Lyme is stuff that I've told her, like, oh yeah, I used to deal with this sort of thing. But now I'm like I feel like I'm in a current Lyme related thing. And I don't know how much she actually knows as a doctor about it. Because I'm used to just going to my Lyme specialist, right? My Lyme doctor. But if I go through my PCP, then insurance will cover it. It's just a matter of getting my PCP to do it, you know? But it's not, I mean, that's not exactly how insurance works, because insurance can still be like, no, we're not going to cover it. I hate our healthcare. Okay. I'm going to be positive, though. At least we have healthcare, right? At least we have doctors. At least we have blood tests. At least we have medical intervention. So one thing that I've done in the past in doctor's appointments is downplay how I feel, right? And I was talking to my therapist about this, and she made a really good point and really changed my perspective of things. These aren't her exact words, but it was basically like, if you downplay your symptoms, how do you expect doctors to take you seriously? How do you expect them? Because if you're downplaying them, and they're just taking your word for it, then, and you're like, oh, I'm fine, then they don't really have any reason to dig deeper or try and figure it out. I'm giving very confusing signals. Like, why are you in my office if you're just fine? You know, if it's not that big of a deal. And I was like, it was like such a light bulb moment. I'm like, seriously though, like how can I get upset with doctors if I go in there and immediately start downplaying? Like, I really have to work, like, my job in this is to be completely honest and talk about how I feel at my worst and not, like, downplay it. Now, part of that is because I'm afraid, because I'm very anxious, and it's kind of like just I don't know, like, and in therapy, we talked about this more, like, I don't want to be the difficult patient, right? I don't want to be a burden. I don't want all this stuff, but that only hurts me. That just prolongs my suffering. And it really circles back to just self-worth kind of thing. But the perspective change really helped me. And then the next week when we talked, I told her, I was like, that perspective change has really helped me. I've been thinking a lot about that. She's like, I'm so glad, because I was afraid that what I meant didn't come across, and that you were going to be blaming yourself for, you know, the way doctors have treated you in the past, you know, because in some cases, doctors have been really mean. Like, they just have this energy and air about them that they just do not care, right? Doctors are on another level. Like, they're incredibly stressed, and I don't want to add to that, but at the same time, I deserve to be treated kindly. But if I go in there and I'm like, oh, I'm fine, then I can also see why a doctor would be like, then why are you here wasting my time? You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. I kind of just I'm anxious about this afternoon. But I saw something online that was like, when you're feeling anxious, and I've heard this before, but most recently, when you're feeling anxious about something, you should say to yourself, like, I'm so excited about this appointment today. I'm so excited about this appointment today. So excited about this appointment today. Every time you like start to feel that anxiety, because I know for me, like, my body cannot distinguish between anxiety and excitement. So if I can start training my body when I'm feeling anxious that I'm actually excited, maybe I will get a better grip on my anxiety.
Not just for one, but for everyone. We just made that up.
I have a lot to say about my appointment today. Overall, it went really well. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen that I like said some stuff in my Insta stories last week now. But I do not have any energy right now to really get into it. And I have to go back tomorrow because they're going to hook me up to a monitor for 7 days. I'll talk more tomorrow once I have that going. As of right now, it went well. I'm so grateful that my cardiologist was top notch. I really appreciate how knowledgeable she was. I just do not have any energy right now though. I feel so horrible. So, I'll talk more tomorrow. All right, let me catch you up on my cardiologist appointment. Overall, the appointment went really, really well. Like, way better than I could have hoped. First I talked to a nurse. She was fine. I mean, she was lovely, doing her job. But then I talked to a physician's assistant, and she really took the time to like talk to me and like learn my history. And when she asked me questions, she actually let me like answer and like think about my answer and stuff. Just completely different from when I saw a neurologist last year. And she was just lovely, just in general, very sweet. And then she went away for a little bit to go talk to the doctor, and then the doctor came. So she was like super knowledgeable. She was also familiar with Lyme disease. Like, not only had she heard of Lyme disease, but she was like familiar with it. She said that they're seeing a lot of people, and this is okay. I'm going to talk about COVID and vaccines, and I'm like apprehensive to do it because I know how passionate some people really are, and I'm like, I don't want to hear it. Like, I'm afraid to talk about this more so on Instagram, just because on my YouTube channel it's just like a few people and that's how I like it, whereas on Instagram there's a little bit more. Anyway, but she was saying how with COVID they've started to see either people who've gotten COVID, it like reignites or causes a reaction in people who already have an autoimmune disorder or something like that, right? So they see that in people who do get COVID and then recover, and then they'll see like that it has reignited. There's a better reactivated or, caused a flare up or something of people who have. I am really exhausted. I am so fatigued. I'm so tired. So and I also have a headache today, so I'm doing my best, but I also just don't feel good. But so they've seen that in people with COVID. I hope that makes sense. But then they've also seen a very, very small percentage, but it is a percentage, and there are people who haven't gotten COVID, at least not to their knowledge, who did get vaccinated and then have had like a relapse or a flare-up of some sort with their autoimmune diseases or disorders. And that, I mean, it makes sense to me. And so she was talking about she sees more in her personal, again, this is just one doctor, okay? In her, with her, in her new patients not the patients she's had for years, and they've got other heart stuff going on, but like brand new patients. A lot of them are coming in with having had COVID, and it messing them up long term, you know, or for a period of time after they've recovered from the initial infection, right? But then she said there's also a smaller percentage of people, her new patients, I would fall into this, that already have some type of autoimmune disorder or disease who didn't get COVID but did get vaccinated and have had a reaction from that. Again, there isn't like a clinical test, like there's no blood work that can be done that like proves this. There's no like the way that I see it, like there's no way to guarantee that I wouldn't have had a flare up anyway, you know, like it's just. So I'm not trying to say that I regret getting the vaccine, because I don't, because I also view it like had I not gotten the vaccine, I would have been at a huge risk of, you know, getting COVID and having really horrible, you know, possible hospitalization and worse. Like I personally know someone who passed away from COVID. Like it's very real, and I don't want this video to turn into that. I hate the way that people talk about vaccines and COVID. I'm so tired of all of it, and I'm afraid that I'm going to get people like being mean or something. I don't know. But I feel like I need to reiterate that this is just a conversation I had with one doctor, right? Now, my Lyme doctor, I don't know if I mentioned this, but when I saw her like the last week of December, before things really got worse for me, but when I was still feeling pretty bad, she had mentioned that she'd noticed some people having just like mild flare-ups, either just pretty much what the cardiologist said, like either after getting COVID or after getting the vaccine. So it's really like if you've got an autoimmune disorder, you're already fighting a really hard fight. You're already fighting a really hard fight. And COVID just makes everything worse, whether that's getting COVID or the vaccine. Now, I personally know friends with autoimmune disorders and diseases who got the vaccine and had no issues. They haven't had any flare ups. They've just gone about like nothing, you know? My lived experience is really just anecdotal right now. Anyway, but just to be safe, she did I had to go back in this morning to get a heart monitor that I'm going to wear for 7 days. And this thing is so frustrating because these are like updated. Like the last time I saw a cardiologist was back in like 2009 or something. And I had to wear a heart monitor, but it was like this whole getup, right? And you had to like wear this thing like on like a belt or something. But now it's just like this little sticky thing that you just attach to your chest. And then they give you like a phone, and it's all here. Now I went in and the nurse, some random nurse, like put this on, and she like gave me this thing, and she's like telling me how to do it, and she's like, oh, it's having trouble pairing for some reason, but it'll pair, don't worry. Like probably once you get home, it's probably just the office building we're in or something, so don't worry about it. And then she gave me like this whole box of thing because I have to wear it for 5 days, but I have to wear it for 7 days, but on day 5, I have to take it off and charge it. So it comes with all this stuff. But then at the end, she was like, and if you can't get it to pair, then call the number on the box and they'll help you. And I'm like, cool. So that was really frustrating just because, of course, it's not going to just work, right? Of course, there's going to be more to it. Like this, I got this put on this morning. I've been home, like it's still an error message. I've read through all of the stuff. So anyway, I called the number on the box, and the first thing it says to me is something like, we're aware that patients are having a hard time activating. So, you know, we're working to fix it and call back later, give us time or something like that. But it wasn't super clear if this is what they're talking about. Like am I having trouble activating? Is that what this is happening? Because my understanding is that it's not pairing. Like, this isn't pairing to this. That's the verbiage that was told to me that I understand. But does that mean that it's not activating? I don't know. So I'm frustrated. So I'm just giving it time. I mean, I don't know. How long do I wait? Do I call my doctor? I don't think I do. I think I wait. I'll call it again in a couple hours. I have this to do for 7 days. Hopefully it starts to work. Because if it doesn't, like if I don't get this to work, because in 7 days, I'm supposed to go get a sonogram done of my heart. But I can't get a sonogram if I have this on. I'm probably gonna have to reschedule that okay, it's gonna work. Today it's gonna work, and in 7 days it's gonna work. And then she's also ordered some blood work just to rule out some things, which is I appreciate. Overall though, I really like this cardiologist. You know, they both, like the PA and the doctor, made me feel like, no, like your symptoms, like it's good that you're here. They didn't make me feel like I was wasting their time. It felt like I was heard, and that is so important. It's so important to feel like you've been heard by a doctor. So I have had no luck with this heart monitor. It has not paired with the sensor and the monitor will not pair. I kept trying to call yesterday, I think, like I said, and it wasn't working. So I was like, okay, I'll give it until tomorrow, which is today, and then I'll call them and wait as long as I have to on hold to talk to someone. And it's like 6:30 in the morning right now, but I can't sleep. I was sleeping so horribly all night. I don't think it had to do with this. Like, I am stressed about it, but I don't think that's why I slept so bad. So I was like wide awake like 6 o'clock. So I called the place, and the guy was very nice. He ran me through like a bunch of troubleshooting, and it just turns out that this in particular one is defective. So lucky me, I get the defective one. So I have to now, it like comes with all this stuff. Like all this stuff that I have to now like package back up and send back. I mean, I don't have to pay for like any of the postage, but so I have to do all that, and then they are sending me a replacement that should be here in 1 business day. So I'm assuming that means by tomorrow. I hope so, because I'm running out of time. Like I have to I'm pretty sure I mentioned, like I have the sonogram scheduled already. I'm still think it'll be fine. I think it'll be like right on the day that I'm done with this is the day that I'll get the sonogram. So it'll be fine as long as I do end up getting it tomorrow. If I don't end up getting it tomorrow, then I'll have to reschedule the sonogram. And the only reason that's frustrating is that right now I'm too dizzy to drive. So my mom is having to take me everywhere, and she's already so busy because she, you know, anyway, it's fine. It'll get figured out. What needs to happen will happen. Not just because this heart monitor thing has been frustrating, but just in general. And I've been feeling just worse. I'm really struggling. I'm really, really struggling, and I just feel very alone in the moment. It just sucks. Like right now it just really, really sucks. And I have to like constantly remind myself in the moment I'm okay and not think too much about the future, because the future is, I guess, as awful as I feel right now, there's so much worse that could be happening. I don't know, I'm just like in a really bad headspace because of it. If I just could afford it, if I could just afford it, it comes down to finances, and it's so frustrating that so much of my worry and stress, and I know this is not just me, but it's all of us together. So many people, like we just finances. The world is not set up for us to thrive, and it's just not fair, and I don't see how it's going to change. And I'm just really not optimistic about anything right now. And it doesn't help that I feel awful. My brain fog is so bad. It's so bad. It's been so long since my brain fog has been like this. And I'm just noticing it so much these last couple of days. I'm sitting here trying to work on something. And one, I just can't form sentences in my head and get them typed out. The other thing is like just sitting here, I feel so exhausted and like I just want to lie down. And I was thinking about it, I was like, even if I had a office job or whatever, a desk job somewhere, how would I just eat meaning like I was actually sitting working on something? I don't have it in my head to be able to focus on what I'm doing. And looking at the screen for too long makes me dizzy. All right, I got the replacement box in the mail today for my heart monitor, and I just called the number so they can help me set it up, and they're having a lot of high volume calls or whatever, so they're gonna call me back when they have a moment to do so. But I also got my calendar, my Harry Styles calendar in the mail, which is a perfect day to get it because I'm really struggling today. So I'm really excited to open this up and see it. It's a really beautifully done calendar. One thing I noticed is that it says on February 1st is Harry Styles' birthday. I did not know that. That explains why I love him, because he's an Aquarius and I love Aquarians. I'm happy to have gotten this. All right, so I've got it on, and it's basically like this little phone. And anytime I have symptoms, I'm supposed to touch that and record what the symptom is. And it'll like see if like it'll record it and compare it to the monitor, and then yeah, so I feel really bad today. Like emotionally and mentally bad today. But I'm glad that I finally have this going, and yeah, see where I hung up my calendar? I figure I spend most of my time on my couch right now anyway, so it'll be nice to always be seeing it, so cool. Y'all, I miss my old therapist so much. I miss her so much. I don't think I like my new therapist. We just had therapy, and I just feel like there's a disconnect between us. And I don't know if I just haven't given it enough time. Like, she's really nice. There's nothing, like, wrong with her. I don't know. I will say, I was proud of myself, though, because she asked me something that just did not make any sense to me. It was like too abstract or something. I don't know. I was like, what? I was like, I don't know how to answer that. Because I don't really know what you're asking. Like, but I'm proud of myself for like having that open communication with her. And she took it fine, you know. But yeah, I was like, I don't know how to answer that because I don't really know what you're asking. Like that, because it doesn't, I think I said because it doesn't make sense to me or something like that. Which, like, it's okay to not know things. It's okay to not understand things. And I'm proud of myself for allowing that vulnerability to take place and to happen. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm really... Take a shot every time I say I'm struggling or I'm not doing well. The last time I saw you guys, it was Thursday. It's now Monday, and I don't know where the last few days have gone. I'm trying hard every day to like get up and move around and like take walks in my backyard. I would take walks like around my neighborhood, but I just like, I have anxiety about it because sometimes I get really dizzy and I'm like, what if I'm too far from home or just whatever. So anyway, I walk around in my backyard. It's just so like depressing about how like weak I am, or like how quickly I just downhill. So yeah, I'm struggling. But I am happy because today I get to take this off and charge it. It's been 5 days, and let's look at this. This is the, did I show you guys this? Like if I have symptoms, I tap it and then I click on what the symptom is and then I log it. This is day 5. I'm supposed to take it off today and charge it and then put it back on for another 2 days. I did film a book video in the last couple of days. That's up already. But if you've been following along with my vlogs, you've probably already heard me talk about the books I've read this month, but it's just more of like a condensed all-in-one video. Anyway, I'm gonna take this off now and charge it. Oh, gross. That is really... Oh crap, I was supposed to turn this off first. Power off. Crap, I was supposed to turn this off first before taking it off. I don't know if you can see that, but it's left like bruising. So weird. Anyway, I'm so happy to have this off. I am not gonna want to put it back on later. My poor skin is so sensitive. Okay, so the little light is green, so I'm assuming it's charged now. I looked through the instructions and it didn't say, but I'm assuming that now that it's not orange and it's now green, it means it's fully charged. So I'm gonna take it off the charger and put a new patch on. So they have this thing, ouch, that you're supposed to like put on your chest so that you can see like where to put it. But the thing is, and you're supposed to like put it up there. See? But I'm not gonna do that because I can still see the mark of where it was on before, and this thing is like really annoying. So it's got the sensor and the patch, and you just click the sensor into just like that, and then you just peel it and stick. Green light came on. Okay. Okay. Okay, it's on. Now I'll turn my monitor back on and hope that it pairs the way it's supposed to. How do I get... I did it. Okay, so when I had the original one that was like defective and I had to call the people, he told me at some point in time to like tap it 7 times in a row, and like it's like design, I don't know. So I just did that, and then it showed up that it's now connected. So I don't know if it's coincidence or if that was like a real thing that I did. Cool. So now I'm hooked up again. I'm good to go for the next couple of days until I'm able to take it off forever. I will be very happy when I am over and done with this. Another fun example of how sensitive my body can be is I bought this tea yesterday. I spent like $8 on this. I'm so mad. It's a valerian root. Oh, it's even called Valerian Dream. Okay, so it's a Valerian Dream tea. Valerian is supposed to help with like anxiety and help you sleep better, okay? So I was like, cool, I need to sleep better. I need help sleeping better. I'm gonna get this. They even have it on here that's like dream away, and that's no joke. So one, I slept like crap. I slept so bad. I was awake on and off all night long. And then when I was asleep, I was having the most intense, crazy, like end of the world dreams. And so I looked it up, like Valerian, I really did not connect dream and dream. Anyway, it's pretty common for some people to experience like really crazy dreams when they take valerian in some form. I'm not gonna take this again. I'm not gonna drink this again. I now have this whole box of tea that is just pointless. I will give it to someone, but I'm so tired because I didn't sleep. I was just having like really crazy dreams. And one of the dreams was so weird because it was like I was this person, but it wasn't me. Like she had my name. She didn't look anything like me though, and she was like living a completely different life. And it was very dramatic. Like it was so dramatic. And then another dream was like end of the world. Like there were explosions happening in the sky and just like really crazy stuff like that. So I'm sleepy. Tomorrow. Today's the last day of January. Tomorrow is the new lunar year. So anyway, I'm ending the video today because it's Monday. Hope you guys are well. I hope 2022 is not kicking your ass the way that it's kicking mine. Be safe, be well. I hope you find ways to enjoy your life, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.